why did you run for mayor?
The core of it, I felt like it was what God wanted me to do. Some friends of mine asked me to run for mayor, and I was like, I kind of laughed it off because there had been some talk. You know, people would say, well, if you ran for mayor, you would make it. And I had no political aspirations whatsoever. Once they said that for the very first time, I felt like thoughts and plans began to formulate in my mind, and it kind of freaked me out, not gonna lie. It was one of those things that I was like, are you serious? I'm, for lack of a better word, arguing with God, if you've ever done that. But I was like, is this really where I'm going? And so I prayed about it, and then at that point in time, after I felt like that was the direction I wanted to go, I gathered a group of people around that I really trusted and asked them to do the same thing. And after a few weeks, we felt like that was the route that we were supposed to go. And then we just announced that I was going to be running for mayor, talked to a few people, and kind of got their thoughts and processes of what they thought we might need to do. And here we are, 13 months. Well, this is the 14th month of me being mayor. It's kind of, it is hard to believe sometimes. You know, it really is. I still think, man, I'm mayor. That's kind of weird. It really is. And if you know me, you probably think it's really weird too. So.
Yes, so you said you had some ideas going into your campaign. What were some of those?
Well, gosh, one of the things that I'll always stand by is quality of life and quality of place for all of our citizens. Mm-hmm. It's one of the most important things. And really right now we have a really great council. We have a great city council that has this goal of making Russellville better. You know, you look at there's housing, there's healthcare, there's safety, there's education, there's so many different factors, but those are the core four things that you really look at in quality of life for quality of place. You know, we're sitting at Russellville High School right now, such an important part of our community, because if we don't have good schools, then we don't have industry. And so one of the attractable things that industry looks at is what is the education like? What is the healthcare like? What is the safety like? What is the availability on housing? So, you know, you look out in front of Russellville High School, we just spent $5 million on a sidewalk and drainage. That's quality of life and quality of place, because not everyone is able to drive down Highway 7. Some people have to walk, some people ride their bikes, some people are in electric mobility devices. So there's so many different things to think about. So probably, you know, that was one of my main things that I campaigned on, and I think even if I'm sitting here, however long I'm blessed to sit in the mayor's chair, that will always be what I strive for. Is you know, last year we opened up an ADA accessible playground at the city park. We opened up a splash pad. You know, we redid Hickey Pool. There's a lot of different things. We spent money on youth sports. Youth sports is a huge thing because not only is it quality of life, quality of place for our families, but it's also economic development because it generates people coming and visiting Russellville, spending money, which in turn generates sales tax revenue.
Can you update us on some of the projects going on in downtown Russellville?
You know, that's a project I inherited. It's called Dig Russellville. Mm-hmm. And so that is a massive undertaking. It really is. To my knowledge, it's the largest project that the city of Russellville has ever really undertaken. The City Corp had to redo the sewer and water underneath downtown. And so at that point, someone, I'm not sure who the visionary was, said, hey, listen, why don't we take the utilities underground, because that's a new thing that is happening in new construction, and people are taking older downtowns and doing that, and then let's just kind of decorate and bring some aesthetics to downtown Russellville. So, you know, when we're done, you'll see all of the utilities will be, well, you won't see them, they'll be underground, so you will only have light poles with no wires. You'll have some shrubbery and some trees and new sidewalks. It will be a great thing. Russellville downtown is really amazing right now, and you guys may be younger to not realize when Russellville downtown was not so good. But there's a lot of good things going on down there, and when we see what's happening down there with the dig, and you see new people coming in, new businesses starting to plant, you can see the growth, you can see the excitement. Where we're seeing a lot of positive movement there, where people want to be there. The goal is to create an atmosphere that people want to come to.
Right.
So it's an exciting time. The fact that I get to work down there is kind of cool too. Mm-hmm. We have in the old fire station, Point Remove. Mm-hmm. We just signed a lease with them. They're going to open up a restaurant in the old fire station. That'll be a really cool venue. So lots of good things going on. You've got great food down there. You've got great, there's artwork down there. There's little retail stores. One of my buddies, John Paul Leonard Jr., has Beatnik Angel, which is a really cool store, and that I like all the things going on down there, the businesses, and it's just a cool vibe. One of the things I like to do is be able to walk in downtown and pop in and say hello to the downtown merchants. So it's kind of a cool thing, and I think it's just getting better.
Well, you have all this life downtown. How do you expect all of this to react to the Eclipse coming in April?
Well, the Eclipse is kind of a huge thing. It is the largest event that we will ever see. Now,
Yes.
You're young enough that you will probably be here in 2045 if you still live in Russellville. You may or may not. We're actually having another Eclipse in 2045 that actually will have a little bit longer totality. So we're planning, events all across Russellville. One of the one downtown is called Moon Over Main. So you'll see vendors downtown. You'll see your downtown merchants really ramping up for the activity. You'll see some restaurants that are not normally open, like Pasta Grill's not normally open on Monday, but they're going to be open on Monday to do some different things. You'll see just a lot of people coming into downtown for whatever. We're going to have concerts. You'll have NASA will be there. So we'll be doing a press conference from the depot every morning. The United States Rocket Center, I think is what it's called. I apologize. Christy Graham can tell you that. They're coming in. We're going to have, you'll have Weather Channel on the ground. You'll have, large television networks here. NASA will be broadcasting directly from here. So lots of things will be happening. We anticipate about 100,000 people coming to our area. Now that's not downtown Russellville. We really anticipate anywhere from 10 to 20,000 people being downtown. Now that's spread out. Now the 100,000 people, that's going to be probably from an area, if you can imagine, from like Hector to Danville to London to Atkins, because a lot of people will go to the rural areas of Russellville or the rural areas of Polk County to see, because they'll get out where there's not a bunch of ambient light. The thing I really do want to get across, though, is Monday will be kind of the crazy day for all of us, but Saturday and Sunday, all of those festivities are for our local people to enjoy. And that's one thing I want. I want our local people to get out, because everybody's like, oh, this is doom and gloom and it's going to be crazy.
Yes.
But we're being gifted this amazing opportunity for this once-in-a-lifetime eclipse to come through our backyard. And so I think I want all of our people to understand that on Saturday and Sunday, go out, enjoy downtown, enjoy the festivities and be part of that. Now, maybe Monday, stay home, because it's going to be kind of crazy. It really will. But I think our downtown, I was in a meeting with all of our merchants this morning, and with our Daniel Hausnick, our head of downtown, and Christy Graham with A&P, and like I say, we're just really, we're excited. We've got, I cannot tell you how many thousand, when I say thousand, there's tens of thousands of hours that have gone into our preparation as a collective group of people to make this an incredible event for Russellville.
Right, we're so excited.
It's great. You guys are gonna. Well, you may be getting to work with NASA, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's a super opportunity.
Absolutely.
And before they came, I did not even know that broadcast you could work for NASA. I'm thinking they got to have astronauts, but no, there's people that have to film them. They have to write the story. They have to do the production. There's so many. That's a really cool thing.
Yes.
We learned a lot about. I think you got to meet with them. We learned a lot about all the opportunities that NASA has to offer. It's really neat.
So I'm actually part of the new youth council.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
So thank you. What is the goal of that group?
Oh my gosh, to nail that down to one, I don't know. One thing, and it goes back to quality of life, quality of place for all of our citizens. And the youth are our citizens. And so I don't feel like your voice is heard often enough, okay? So when we talk about future leaders, well, it's a responsibility of my generation to raise future leaders, not just assume that you're going to rise up. I want the youth council to be able to see how things work, because 14 months ago, I had no idea how this all worked and why things work so slowly and how everything takes place. And so maybe if we can bring you on board and you can see, okay, well, they want to do this, but maybe they can't do this because there's money that's over here for this, but there's no money for this. And so there's so many different things that you have to think about. So if we can educate you on that, then you can go back and when you're hanging out with your friends, then you can educate them and maybe they can educate their parents. I don't know. We want to raise you up as the future generation of leaders because that's so important, you know, and so our goal is to try to bring you in, let you, you know, see what a meeting looks like, you know, after we vote on certain things, and what are your thoughts? Why should we have done that? Why should we not have done that?
Well, I'm really just excited to share my opinion as a youth in this city and hear others as well.
I think that's it, you know, to be able to have someone to listen and really, oh my gosh, you guys really don't understand the amazing council that we have. We have a great city council and they're super excited about this. They really are excited about it. And I think that's, I'm thankful that they're willing to hear. And, you know, and that there's a difference in listening and hearing. And so I think there's a group on the council that is willing to hear, not just listen. And so I'm excited to see what you guys bring to the table, and the fresh eyes is just always good. So.
Me as well.
We spent $1.7 million on turfing baseball and softball fields, okay? That's a lot of money, and people would go, why would you ever do that, especially if you don't play softball or baseball?
Right.
But what they don't understand is every tournament that comes to Russellville, every team that goes and plays in that tournament spends on average $5,800 that weekend in Russellville. So if you have 60 teams that come in that weekend, they're going to spend on average $5,800 in our local economy. So that is what's called economic development. So it's kind of, you have to look at things totally different. Buccees is a big thing for Russellville, it really is. So we had that. We felt like that was nailed down pretty good. We actually had their plans going through planning and development, and then they got pulled. So Senator Davis and myself are really working hard to land that. And there's so much misinformation about Buccees. There's so much misinformation. And so RDOT is not to blame. The city's not to blame. There's no one really to blame there. We've been as welcoming as possible. We've put together almost an $11 million incentive package to try to help bring them here. We haven't nailed it down yet, but we're still working. Until there is another Buccees being built between Memphis and Fort Smith on I-40, I will continue to work that project. To answer that, we're working hard to try to make that happen, because that would be a huge game changer for Russellville. It would generate probably a little over $1 million of revenue for our taxes, for our budget every year through Buccees.